Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship here at TRACKILICIOUS. I'm Ghoukasian, and I can tell you that I am ecstatic about the show we have ahead, about the season we have ahead. Some of the most competitive racing that you will see, some of the biggest names you will have here in North America, here to try and win the title for the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Champion. How's everybody doing? Steven Tomazic, Jaeger Karu, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the subs. 26 months, 18 months, those are both almost a year. Really appreciate your support, Fanton. Welcome. Already showing some love and support to those out there. We are about to jump into qualifying as these drivers are out there trying to see how, who, where, what, and in any way, shape, or form are they going to be able to achieve that top step to get started on this fantastic championship. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome. A little bit of time left in qualifying, so why don't we jump right in and get into it. Well, folks, we've been waiting for a little while. We've been waiting and gearing up for this championship to get here. We are incredibly proud, incredibly appreciative for Next Level Racing to have supported this championship and putting a fantastic prize on the line. We have so much support from all of our other championships, as well as we have multiple prizes going out, again, thanks to Next Level Racing. However, in this one in particular, the winning driver, the one who comes in first place in the championship, is going to be getting a Next Level Racing ERS4 fabric and sim aero mesh cockpit seat. Fantastic. It is I know it's applicable to multiple rigs, so you don't have to have a Next Level rig, but if you do want one, well, let me tell you, we have some exclamation points out there. Check it out. Exclamation point NLR, exclamation point rig, exclamation point Next Level. Good evening, Brian. Thunder Bay and another Canadian in chat. Welcome. Well, folks, here we are. We have 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to get things started, and we have none other than Jaid Hutchison, the Canadian, topping the charts with a 142.5 provisional pole, and the likes of Thiago Dinarte, Gabriel Felipe, and Tyler Carr chasing down for that top position. We see the likes of the Mustangs. I know have been the point of conversation for most here in the championship, with having a phenomenal top speed and being able to take advantage of some of the straight lines here at Barcelona. The rest of the track, pretty difficult to overtake, but we do have two straights, the front straight and the back straight, of which are going to be positions in which Thiago and the others, likes of Tyler Carr, Chandler Williams, Jill Silverin, will be taking advantage of the mega straight line speed of the Mustang. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's excited, geared up for a super adrenaline rush championship, and even more so race today here at the lovely Barcelona in Spain. How's everybody in chat doing? What do you have going on today? Are you excited to watch some of the racing that we have that's about to come up as Dinarte trying to build himself up some room to proceed the following corners, letting through some lap traffic in this exclusive championship limited to some higher ranked players within the ACC SimGrid community. Dinarte making tons of room for fellow Fords to come through. See some lovely, my goodness, what is going on? Decides to go back. Let's have a look at the likes of Tyler Carr and P4 currently chasing down the phenomenal speed of Jade Hutchinson. 142.58. Temperatures super high here at Barcelona from looking at earlier. 35 degrees ambient temperature, which we all know drops the pace of these cars a little bit, for most cars at least. But we still see Jade Hutchinson still in the 42s, along with several of the other drivers on track. See the likes of Tyler Carr trying to improve on his lap with 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. Top three cars right now in the 42s. Jade Hutchinson, 42.5. Thiago Dinarte, 42.8. Gabriel Felipe, 42.9. All trying to challenge for that top step with only 3 minutes remaining. Incredibly competitive grid here so far. And the slowest lap being a 45.5 out there. Unbelievable. We continue to watch Tyler Carr of a Race Forge Esports going through, trying to find some magic out there. Firm Builds, thank you so much. I apologize about any mistakes that happen in advance, any technical difficulties, because I am only the part-time commentator here at TRACKILICIOUS, filling in when and where we do not have our main commentators, the likes of Sagar Bakshi, Mike Noss, and Kusha Terakov, the legends, and now a new addition as well, Tyler Morgan. Those are the legends. I'm just a substitute. Very excited substitute, as I am absolutely truly, I'm hyped, so hyped to see some excitement here. Kenneth Portis in the top performing Honda here. I love the diversity we have in the field, actually. Good Audi at the top, Ford, Bentley, Ferrari, Honda, McLaren, BMW, and that's just the top 10. Amazing diversity on the grid. See some Astons and Lamborghinis. I mean, you know you have an impressive grid when you have the likes of Jake Wells in P12, Quinn Smith in P14. These are not usual plays. These are people who are usually first, rarely coming in second or below, but that's what this grid is about. This is what the competition is like. This is what the likes of Next Level Racing and TRACKILICIOUS bring to you. This is what you get when you come here, and this is what we are all excited to watch. Kenneth Portis coming through P7, trying to improve up into P5. Fantastic lap with 40 seconds left to go. Portis deciding to park it, and pretty happy with that performance. The Honda here with the lovely blue and white trim, putting it in a very competitive spot. But the likes of Thiago Dinarte and Gabriel Felipe still looking for some magic. Currently unable to find it. But Thiago Dinarte will be going for this last attempt. Maybe we go on cockpit view and see what Dinarte has to offer. Absolutely nailing that first corner into T2. Long curving T3. Important to find the throttle point. Very gentle on the throttle. Rolling all the way out, making sure you don't scrub any speed. Use the entire width of the track, sending it into T4. coming all the way around again. Traction control fighting him a little bit there. Into the blind turning point in apex of 5. Patience. And decides that that is not going to do any better. And does park it. We have a couple more cars out on track. Jahid, not satisfied with his P1, looking for more. Trying to defend any possibility of an improvement from the likes of Dinarte and Felipe. Felipe having already completed the session, crossing the finish line as the timer reached down to 0. Jahid still not knowing that, looking for more. Looks like he has a 10th in hand, looking for more improvement. Last corner, absolutely sending it. Incredible speed from this Audi. Crosses the line down to 42.5. Absolutely blazing pace from Jahid Hutchinson. Incredible. Well, if that's not enough excitement, oh boy, we are just about to get started. 80 minutes. Yeah, I was double checking to make sure. We have so many leagues. I have to double check to see what's going on and make sure that I'm commentating and giving the correct facts. We do have an 80-minute race today, and there are no tire requirements, so the competitors can choose to take or not take tires depending on their strategy. And the timing that we have is indeed made to make them question on whether they should or shouldn't. And while we get prepared for that, while these folks get geared up, get settled down, go take their little potty breaks and get settled into their hopefully next level racing solid and amazing rigs to be into this competitive competition, we have the likes of Jahid Hutchinson in P1, followed by the likes of Thiago Dinarte in P2 in the Ford. We have Gabriel Felipe coming back in the Oak Racing Team Bentley P3. Tyler Carr in the Race Forge Mustang in P4. Kenneth Portis in P5 in the top performing Honda. Chandler Williams in P6 in the Mustang. Mike Vasquez in P7 in the top performing Ferrari. Great positioning there. Michael Landry coming in. Quasar Sim Racing in P8. Mateus Alves in P9 in the Silver Bullet Ferrari. Wilson Fernandez of the Vacuum Racing BMW in P10. And I'm rounding off our top 10 performers. Next is Gilles Silverin in the Mustang. Jake Wells coming in the JWR-NLR, Jake Wells Racing. If you guys are interested in supporting Jake Wells in the next level, you can do !NLR Jake, as he does have his own affiliate code as well. Next coming in the top performing Lamborghini, Jonathan Clifford. Anthony Kelly in P14. We got Quinn Smith in P15. Jace Wright in P16. Alex Hansen P17. Austin Doyle in P18 in the Doyle Mosport. Also in a Ford Mustang. Then we have the likes of Matt Artem in P19. Mario Costa in P20. P21, Professor Kernotis. P22, Alex Freeman. Zane Blisket in P23. Jason Provolone, the Cheese Man, in P24. Jacob Curtis in P25. Mariko Yatanashi in P26. And finally, closing out the grid is the Brazilian of the Scuderia T-Rex Racing Team, Rogério Santos. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited to see what happens in this race. The grid, so competitive. Top tier drivers J to Z, literally, starting from Jaid all the way down to, sorry, J to R, as we do have Mariko and Santos all the way down to the 27th position. It is a bit more of an intimate grid, but the exclusivity of this championship, as that's a real word and the previous one was not. The exclusivity of this championship just did create a smaller grid, but by golly, is there some talent on this grid. Really excited to see the competition and hoping that that competition doesn't yield much aggressiveness, but more so absolutely clean and technical driving from the entire grid. This challenge is going to be right on, looking for Jaid to get a little bit more pressure from the grid than what he did last time. Jaid being unbelievably quick in the previous championship, having won a Trackalicious track day, with a car and a travel budget for which he will be claiming this summer. We're looking forward to him, looking forward to his skill, to see him on the track, and we'll report back to you as that happens. Hearts will be beating. These folks will be trying to be settling into their rigs, trying to get ready, trying to get excited. Or really the opposite way around, and calm their nerves, focus up, and see what it is they can do in the next 80 minutes here at the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship. Barcelona, or the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. The 4.6 kilometer or 2.9 mile circuit in the Montmeló, Barcelona, Catalonia, Spain region. Fantastic technical course, incredible corners, lovely weather. I've had the fortune to be a visitor to Barcelona and have had a great time. A party city, a beach city, as these folks now line up in zipper formation, left, right, starting from the right, Jaid having P1, and we will be getting ready to get going, trying to get an optimal view here of the grid. An incredible grid nonetheless, and we are green, go. Looks like Jaid Hutchinson gets a fantastic start. Dinarte right there. Gabriel Felipe looking for another great start right behind Hutchinson there, but Dinarte trying to pressure a narrow line with Hutchinson. Dinarte looks like a nose ahead. They go side by side. Dinarte now getting the optimal line on the inside, but Hutchinson on the outside, turning into the inside of turn 3. Hutchinson getting ahead, and that'll be absolutely critical for the remainder of the race. Dinarte now settling into P2 with Gabriel Felipe and P3, followed by Tyler Carr, the Mustang, challenged by yet another Mustang, looks like, of, who is that? It is... well, I'm sure we'll catch up as our timing charts catch up themselves. It is the likes of Chandler Williams. So Jaid Hutchinson, Thiago Dinarte, Gabriel Felipe, and the two Mustangs challenging each other side by side of Tyler Carr and Chandler Williams, still battling through the middle section of this circuit. We do looks like we have some yellow flags, unfortunately, but I'm sure they will catch up with Mario Costa and Alex Freeman, but they will be catching up to the rest of the grid. Tyler Carr looks like has managed to get ahead of Chandler Williams. Chandler Williams now settling into P5 as our top performer. Still, Jaid Hutchinson being challenged by Thiago Dinarte here through the final sector. Looks like we have some more incidents, unfortunately, but we will stick to the front of the pack for now as these battles continue on as they get through the final sector of lap 1. Unbelievable performance. Jaid, cool as ice in an extremely hot zone, and does manage to complete the first lap, I should say, leading the race. Looks like that Mustang speed really coming into action here. That Mustang, unbelievable, as we mentioned, going to the outside, trying to maximize the line into the first corner and does have to go wide a little bit. Jade giving him a little bit of room, but that Mustang is now compromised. Going into T3, the long sweeping right-hander, and that does give Gabriel Felipe an opportunity to come back and see if there's a move for him there. But no, it looks like Thiago Dinarte is just a bit too far ahead, as the compatriots there are looking still at challenging Jade Hutchinson for that P1 position. Farther down the line, looks like Mac Vasquez trying to pressure the likes of Kenneth Portis. Really close. Jake Wells onto Landry as well. Oh my goodness, look at this train of absolutely phenomenal performers. As mentioned before, when you have the likes of Jonathan Clifford, Jake Wells, Quinn Smith down in the teens, you are really talking about some incredible competition. Vasquez here looking ahead, hoping that the battles that happen up front are going to yield some positions, that we see some more argy-bargy, as they say. Gabriel Felipe is still ahead in a sandwich of Mustangs between Dinarte and Chandler Williams. Chandler looking on the inside, the threatening move. It's a Felipe move as well. Felipe looking on the inside with the Bentley, having the overlap for sure. The inside turning the outside turning the inside, having to tuck back in behind Dinarte, just not quite enough, but Chandler Williams still there on the outside of turn 3, but just not managing to be able to make it, tucking back in to that P4 position. Chandler locking in that fastest lap thus far, but he is in a group of battles. All of this battle happening back behind, of course. Jaid managing to walk away a little bit. Now 1.8 seconds clear of the rest of the field as these guys continue the battle. Farther down the field, looks like there's bumping and banging. Jake Wells going down, now battling with Matias Alves, maybe. And that's going to be an opportunity for Jill Silverman to look on the outside and absolutely sends it around and managed to make the move. Jake Wells now ducking down into what looks like P13. My goodness, look at these guys. We're already down into, I think, the third, about to get into the third lap, and these guys still nose to tail practically through the entire grid. I can already tell I am going to be voiceless tomorrow. The excitement just can't handle it, and I want you guys to see, I want you to understand what pressure looks like. Let's have a look at the likes of, let's say, Professor Canotas. No, Austin Doyle making a move inside. Look at that train of cars, looking at it one at a time. Austin Doyle on the inside of Quinn Smith, now on the outside of Quinn Smith, and on the inside of Quinn Smith. Yes, again, as we constantly go through this first sector, this roller coaster of emotions, Austin Doyle still looking on the inside, trying to gain advantage into turn 4. Big deep braking. And does manage to get that move done ahead of Quinn Smith. The mint chocolate chip ice cream, but Quinn coming back, looking on the inside. No, not quite enough. Matias Alves trying to challenge the Lamborghini of Jonathan Clifford up ahead. Does not quite have it just yet. Looking at the slightest of possibilities, anything, any possible thing that could give them an advantage. The Ferrari being incredibly fuel efficient, but does tend to lack a little bit in the top end of the straight line speeds, and that's where he's going to be threatened by the likes of Gilles Silverin just behind, where completely opposite, that Mustang has unbelievable speed in the straight line. Zane Blisket looking for a move on Rogerio Santos, looking on the inside, is deeply side by side. Blisket now looking at getting the advantage in turn one, does manage to make the move stick, but is he going to be able to keep it? Looks like he is, yes, and solidly ahead up into P22 for Blisket. Jake Wells now trying to threaten the likes of Gilles Silverin. Down one position from his qualifying, looking at the biggest gainers and losers. Biggest gainers so far. Rogerio Santos up, well, it was 6 positions, now 5 positions ahead of his qualifying. And those, the likes of Mario Costa, down 6 positions, along with Alex Hansen in the Honda. New car to Hansen, trying to figure it out, and we all know it's a bit of a challenge, but can be quick when looked at in the lights and the hands of Kenneth Portis in P6 right now. Lots of love for the Brazilians. Wilson, Fernandez, Gabriel Felipe, Mario Sergio, all of the Brazilians on the grid. And we have an incredible percentage of the grid represented by Brazilians. Happy to have you all here. Absolutely. Incredible performance, making the Brazilian racing community proud. Deep racing heritage coming from our South American brothers. And some support for the likes of Chandler Williams and Thiago Denarte in the Please Break a T1 Mustangs. Denarte absolutely rapid. Looks like he has managed to catch up to the likes of Jade Hutchinson. This is absolutely incredible. That Mustang is absolutely ripping through these corners. Jaid now back under pressure from the Mustang. Barcelona has a history, is known for being relatively difficult to overtake, and Denarte put on an incredible move right at the start, but just couldn't make it stick. What once was an advantage of being on the inside then became a disadvantage on the outside, and an advantage on the inside, and just finally wasn't able to make it stick, but will continue chase down the likes of Jaid as he is closing down that Audi with the incredible pace and power of that Mustang. Alves as well, still chasing down the likes of Jonathan Clifford. But looks like there's a move building between Austin Doyle and Anthony Kelly. Doyle looking on the inside, does make the move stick. Kelly tucking in behind in the McLaren. Just does not have the same top end speed as that Mustang does. The mint chocolate sip Doyle Mosport Mustang. I was gonna say Ferrari, but that definitely isn't a Ferrari. Battle between Provolone and Carnota's. Provolone looking, but doesn't quite have it. The battle continues here at the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship. The round one, the inaugural round of this fantastic series. The incredible competition continues as that Aston hunting down the blue shell Ferrari of Professor Carnotis. kind of a reverse role for that blue shell. But as mentioned before, the back straight just not being quite long enough to make much happen unless you get an incredible launch out of turn 10, I should say. This 2.9 mile circuit. Oh, Provolone a bit deep in braking, but doing a fantastic job of avoiding the situation. A three-way battle here. Looks like Clifford looking on the inside to try and make a move on Michael Landry. Not quite having enough. Now compromising his own position to the likes of Mateus Alves just behind. Go Wilson Fernandez. Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. Fernandez currently in P8. A bit of gap ahead and behind for Wilson. A fantastic driver, having driven amongst the Trackalicious grid many a time before, and having won some incredible endurances here. Wilson Fernandez now trying his skill, comparing to some of the best in the Americas. Here at Trackalicious's Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship. Dinarte now having really caught up to Jaid. 5 tenths between them. We'll be looking to see what he can do in the straight. Jaid having a bit of a wiggle is not going to be optimal for him, but does get a fantastic launch out of the final corner, to the point where I don't think Dinarte is quite close enough to make anything happen. But my goodness, taking away 2 or 3 tenths in the straight alone with that Mustang. Chandler Williams as well, applying a lot of pressure to the likes of Gabriel Felipe. These battles, 15 minutes in, and they're still absolutely nose to tail. Bumper to bumper, looking for the slightest mistake. As the boss lady comes in, requesting a fun fact amongst all of the battles that have been happening here. I got a long one here. I got a long fact that I'm going to read out as soon as we get a break, a breath, a chance to say it. Look at this. P1, P2 battle, P3, P4 battle. Can you really separate them? Not really, as any of these drivers making a singular mistake will result in potentially 1, 2, or 3 positions lost, and that is, I'm sure, not something either one of these drivers want. Dinarte. The launch that Audi gets out of that final corner is incredible, but look at how the Mustang just pulls it in. Unbelievable. Jake Wells now behind Alves. Alves having chased down Clifford for quite some time. Wells looking on the inside. Is side by side. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if there was contact there or not, but if there was, it must have been the slightest bit of contact. Wells coming back, having lost several positions there, down 3 spots, back into 12th place. What is happening? Oh my goodness, bad going to worse. Might be the right time for Jake Wells to consider a pit stop. Try and get out of the traffic and maybe maximize the result through the rest of the race. We know Wells has the pace, but just something's not suiting him so well here today as he continues to drop down. Jonathan Clifford, though, now chasing again chasing Landry just up ahead. Clifford in the top performing Lamborghini Huracan Evo against the Evo of the McLaren. Both drivers look like they get a fantastic exit out of the final corner, which is T14. 14 corners here at Barcelona, 4.6 miles of action. A bit more spread in the field right now, but the competition is real and intense all the way through. Multiple challengers for positions. As we are on board, watching the battle between P10 and P9 ahead. Jonathan Clifford challenging Michael Landry, the 710 McLaren. Maybe this is a good opportunity to read out that fun fact. While we watch this action, the circuit has hosted many international races, including MotoGP, FIA Sports Car Championship, European Touring Car Championship, FIA GT Championship, the Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters, or DTM as most know it as. FIA GT Championship, I read European Le Mans Series, the World Series Formula V8 3.5, GT World Challenge Endurance Cup, 24 Hours of Barcelona, Tofu Femi Velez, and the FIA World Rally Cross Championship. An unbelievable amount of championships that are held here, as we do see some battling happening here between Gabriel Felipe and Chandler Williams. A request for a P5 cam. So Villanette, you can actually redeem a full onboard lap as you accrue some fuel here at TRACKILICIOUS, some gasoline, and when you have enough, we can hop on and do a full onboard lap. Looks like Tyler Carr is a bit farther away than some of the actions happening, but I will do my best to get back to him, and I'm sure he will be trying to challenge for a position, and when he does, we will make sure to jump on board. In the meantime, we do have the likes of Matheus Alves, again constantly pressuring Jonathan Clifford. Clifford having to have eyes ahead and eyes behind as he is trying to challenge ahead, but it will have to be cautious about the cars behind, as this little group here, again, so tight. 20 minutes into the race, less than an hour remaining. As these folks continue to battle for every single position possible. Multiple battles on track going down. Looks like Jake Wells making a move on Professor Carnotis, down from P19, trying to make his way up, now back into P18 and continuing to work ahead. We were to go through the grid a little bit and see what is happening. We have Alex Freeman having taken his pit, getting that out of the way and trying to find some clean air, but my goodness, that might not be the opportune moment that he is going to be coming right back out into some incredible battles. Might have absolutely nailed it, actually, into a window that is wide open, just ahead of the likes of what I believe is Jake Wells, correct? So he might be a lap down right now, but he did take that pit, and he's going to be looking. Mario Costa and now coming in to take his pit as well. Jacob Curtis in 25th, Mirko Yatanashi 24th. Alex Hansen 22nd. Rogerio Santos in 20th. Jason Provolone still challenging Professor Kenotis for that 19th spot from 20th. Kenotis in 19th. Jake Wells in 18th, looking ahead. Matt Artem in 17th. Jace Wright in P16. Quinn Smith in P15. Anthony Kelly P14, looking for some P13 action of Austin Doyle, getting closer to Gilles Silverin in P12. Mateus Alves in P11, up into the top 10 of Jonathan Clifford in P10. P9, Michael Landry. Wilson Fernandez up into P8, chasing down Mike Vasquez in P7. P6 of Kenneth Porteous. Tyler Carr in P5. Chandler Williams P4. Gabriel Felipe in P3. Thiago Denarte in P2. And the likes of Jaid Hutchinson in P1. Battles continuing. Anthony Kelly thinking about doing something. Some magic there in it for him. Is there anything? Does the McLaren have the pace? Having previously been absolutely OP, might be bopped into that position, but we do see the likes of Michael Landry up into P9, getting that McLaren into top 10. But the top performer right now is the Audi of Jaid Hutchinson. Is that car, or is that driver, or combination of both? Audi, not a popular car, selected by Hutchinson and the likes of Matt Artem. Denarte has backed up a little bit from Hutchinson. Cooling down tires, maybe. Anthony Kelly still looking at the likes of Austin Doyle. The mint chocolate chip Mustang. Looking for a position. Kelly now super close, but that Mustang does have some incredible speed. Maybe we could hop into and look at what this looks like from inside the car. That Mustang pulling away despite the McLaren having the draft, the streamline, ducking behind the air that the Mustang is punching. For those that don't know, it is incredibly difficult for the leading car to go through the air. Think of it as your hand being stuck out of the window. Imagine all that resistance being applied to the entire car and then some, as the aerodynamic surfaces do apply increased drag as well. And then think of your hand having another hand behind it and the lack of force the second hand will be feeling. That's exactly what Anthony Kelly was trying to get. However, the Mustang being so powerful just doesn't quite have enough to keep up with it. Kelly experiencing some understeer being so close to that Mustang now. More battles again happening up front as Gabriel Felipe has caught back up, or really tightened up, never really left, as he continues to be in this break at T1. Please break T1. Sandwich the Mustangs of Thiago Denarte and Chandler Williams. All of whom are not at all letting any bit of Hutchinson away. Still within striking distance. More battles happening through the grid. This pack still so close. Alves now even closer, seemingly closer than ever before to the likes of Jonathan Clifford. But Clifford has a draft as well from the McLaren up ahead. Mid-engine car of the McLaren to the mid-engine car of the Lamborghini to the mid-engine car of the Ferrari, followed by the front-engine car of that Mustang. Toot, welcome. Thank you so much for following. We are here at the first race of the season of the fantastic Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship. And we have had an incredible start of the race so far. Unbelievable competition between some of these packs of cars. We have battles here happening between P9, 10, 11, 12. The likes of Landry, Clifford, Alves, Silver, all driving different machinery. Lead McLaren in P8, followed by the Lamborghini of lead McLaren of P9, followed by the Lamborghini of Clifford in P10, and the Ferrari of Alves in P11, and the Mustang of Alves in Mustang of Silverin of Gilles in P12. Gilles dropping back a little bit, having made a mistake the last couple quarters, but Wilson Fernandez has seemed to have caught up to Mike Vasquez up ahead. "30 minutes deep into the race, 50 minutes remaining. Will the BMW have anything for that Ferrari of Mike Vasquez up ahead?" Not in this lap, doesn't seem like it, but there is a long road ahead. Ooh, looked like we were getting pretty close between Alves and Clifford. Not quite though. Sim Race Life, absolutely. There is a prize for this series, as this series is sponsored by Next Level Racing. The P1 prize for this championship is a fantastic Next Level Racing ERS4 Fabric and Sim Aero Mesh cockpit seat, which is able to be used on multiple sim rigs. Doesn't have to be a Next Level Racing sim rig, but would be fantastic on a Next Level Racing sim rig. Exclamation point NLR, exclamation point rig, exclamation point next level. If you want to look at some options to see what fantastic range of products Next Level Racing has, as we are representing here the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship hosted by TRACKILICIOUS. An unbelievable grid of competitors, and does look like Wilson Fernandez does make a move side by side, and Wilson manages to get ahead. Let's go back and see if we could see how that move was done. Oh, looks like there was a situation where Vasquez went wide. Vasquez was looking to try and make that move back in turn 3 on the outside. Really difficult to maintain grip there. The outside becoming the inside, but looks like Wilson Fernandez still has the advantage. Does get a better exit, still side by side. Well, it looks like Wilson Fernandez does manage to secure it eventually, as Alexa Vasquez drops down into the clutches of Alex Hansen now. Entering the pit window, opportunities here, 40 minutes being halfway through the race. In Sim Race Life, it is not just this championship that has prizes, but we have many a championship here supported by Next Level Racing, as our GT4 Open Championship has a Next Level Racing haptic feedback pad looking awesome. That's a winner. That's a surprise for the winner of that championship, but for the Rookie Series, the prize will go to those who attend 7 out of the 8 races. As we all know, the Rookie Series, we're trying to encourage clean and learning racing. So that will not go to the top contender, so we don't have some of those sandbaggers coming in just to take a prize, but we'll go to a random draw of all of the participants who have attended the majority of the races. Alves still looking at Jonathan Clifford, and Jonathan Clifford still looking at Michael Landry, but the opportunity still hasn't arisen for these guys. It might be the pits. The pits might be the difference. It will come down to who has practiced their pit entry and exit. 45 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the race. As we see Mario Costa just giving way some of the drivers. Chase Wright challenging Quinn Smith. Big wiggle for Jace, and that is going to be inopportune as they go through turn 3 here. Quinn building a bit of a gap there. Oh no! Oh no! Let's see what there was that built up to that little error. Alves trying to make a move, but just maybe not in the right position. Alves in the silver car, Jonathan Clifford in the Lamborghini. Alves looks like he's getting a great launch of the previous corner, and just a late send. I don't know, may or may not have been there. We'll have to have the stewards take a look, but unfortunately that drops Clifford down to P10. Well, effective P10, or I should say currently P10, as there are a bunch of cars that have already pitted, as the 40-minute mark will indicate the halfway point of the race. We do see the likes of Thiago Dinarte now pitting, going in for the undercut. Now, I'm not quite sure what's more powerful. Will it be the undercut or the overcut? But it'll all depend on what happens here. Is Thiago going to be taking tires? Is that going to be the advantage that he needs, or is that going to be the disadvantage that he gets with taking tires and potentially falling back behind another set of drivers that he'll have to fight through? We'll be curious to see how that all plays out as we see the likes of Jake Wells, another affiliate with Next Level Racing, !NLR Jake for Jake's affiliate code. chasing down Matt Artem. The field is a bit shaken up right now as we are in the middle of the pit window. Practically half the grid having pitted and the remainder trying to decide when is the optimal time. The real question becomes, what is Jaid Hutchinson, the Ace Attack Sim Sport Visceral driver, going to do? Is he going to go long? Just drive the tires all the way to the end and go for a splash and dash? Monsieur Debeau, bienvenue. Hope you're doing well. Gabriel Felipe and Chandler Williams now in the pits. This will be interesting. Let's have a look and see. I really want to see what happens. Does Thiago Dinarte come out ahead of the likes of Gabriel Felipe and Chandler Williams? Will give us a couple bits of information, an understanding whether the undercut worked out, as Dinarte going onto the straight. Number 27 of Felipe rolling forward already. Is that going to be enough? We see him throttling up, but no, it isn't. Looks like the undercut was the move, as we do see Kenneth Portis getting ahead. The likes of Gabriel Felipe and Chandler Williams. Unbelievable. Great strategy from Portis. Oh my goodness. Chandler Williams getting a stop go 30. Oh no. That is absolutely devastating. He must have been speeding in the pit lane. Oops, indeed, Dr. Porkchop. Jack James, do I have any pit stop times? I have numbers. I am not great at understanding or reading what they are, but looks like Dinarte has a 32.9. Portis 32.1. Felipe 34.9. Williams 34.1. Vasquez 32. So it does look like Portis had optimized his pit stop by nearly or over, well, 3 seconds. Nearly 3 seconds. Yeah, sorry, doing some mental math here with not a lot of mental, yet a lot of math. So it does seem like now that the likes of Jaid, Landry, and Alves might be deciding to go long. Does that mean that someone like Thiago Dinarte, having loads of free space up ahead, taking tires, is that going to be enough for Thiago to do something magical, to come out ahead of Jaid as Jaid goes in for just fuel and to get that pit stop done? Jaid seeming to commit to the won the late stop strategy, I should say. And this is how tight the field is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, a 30-second stop go 30 is quite a long time, but Chandler Williams dropping from P4 all the way to P22. Mateus Alves finally pitting. Oh my goodness. Oh no, that is a really bad spot to be in. We have redeemed a full onboard lap with Wilson Fernandez. Mario, I'll get that as soon as he crosses the start finish line. Gabriel Felipe behind Kenneth Portis. Really, really unfortunate for Felipe. Longer stop. Ending up behind Kenneth Portis. Kenneth will be defending like a lion, I am sure, to try and maintain what looks like is effectively P3 now. Alrighty. Wilson Fernandez in the beloved BMW of the vacuum racing team. T1, T2, huge cuts of the corners, going to the high speed T3, burning up the tires, applying a lot of heat and load into those rubbers for sure. Into the 180 long turn, not quite a hairpin of T4 Repsol. Blind corner left-hander of P5, deep braking, find the corner, late apex, throttle as soon as possible, gradual application of the throttle not to lose the rear end as you're downhill. Find the braking spot, a bit of curb on the left, a lot of curb on the right, throttle to the pedal, tab of the brake here maybe, or a lift if you're way better than the skill level that I have, onto the back straight between 9 and 10. Find your braking point here. Incredibly difficult, hard braking on the hairpin. Accelerate wide, another challenging bunch of corners. Find your speed, patience on throttle, gradual application so the rear end doesn't come right on your right-hander here on T10. 11, 12, 13, and 14. Actually, there are a couple more corners. The numbers that I'm looking at are the non-chicane. It's actually 16 corners in the circuit in this current configuration. And there you have it, Mario. A full lap with the legend Wilson Fernandez. Oh, we actually do see Jaid now pitted. Still effective P1, but has a 9-second gap. A 9-second gap to Thiago Dinarte. How did that happen? I would suspect that Thiago took tires, if anything. Gotta be. The racing calmed down here a little bit, giving me the opportunity to catch my voice and breath. But it's not quite done yet. Here at sunny, hot, tire burning Barcelona. Yeah, Hutchinson for sure taking a 9.6 second stop, fuel only. Probably the reason why Dinarte has dropped so far back. So, Jax, tires are optional in this championship. The length of races are just so that you really don't know. It really depends on the track conditions and track temps as to whether taking tires or not is optimal. So it looks like the likes of Jaid has decided that tires is not what he wants to do, but Thiago Dinarte did pick tires, as he does have a 30-second stop relative to Jaid's 9.6 second. So it's not a matter of taking more or less fuel. I believe it's a matter of taking tires or not. And Dinarte is going to be looking to close up that gap to Jaid very, very, very quickly. Or as quickly as he can, as there's only just over 30 minutes left in the race. But it does look like there is a significant gap between the two drivers. Bunch of drivers here, but looks like Chandler Williams looking to make an overtake. Oh my goodness. There it is. Looks like Alex Hansen did make a mistake, and that gives the position to the likes of Chandler Williams. Fastest lap of the race set by now Tyler Carr with a 1 minute 43.320. Michael André going absolutely long in the McLaren along with Clifford. So definitely going for the one stopper, or I should say the no tire strategy, not the one stopper. They're all going for one stop. Well, hopefully. It'd kind of not be great if you're doing a two stopper like Chandler Williams had to do. Wilson Fernandez now challenging for a position. Looks like their pace is relatively even. Best lap of Mike Vasquez, 43.8. Best lap of Wilson Fernandez, 43.7. So these guys are right there within each other's pace. Oh, looks like Gabriel Felipe did manage to get by Kenneth Portis. Portis now looking at P4 effectively. All right, why don't we do this? While we have a bit of quiet time on track, let's go through the grid. Anthony Kelly, actually, while we say that, looking for a charge onto Austin Doyle. Lincoln cars are not things you want to see. Those that are new to the sim, just means that there's a bit of packet loss, maybe loss of connection, temporary albeit, but not very comfortable sight. Professor Kurnoda's coming out P15 after pitting, only leaving Quinn Smith and Michael Landry going absolutely long. What's impressive is neither one of these drivers have a Ferrari, which does have the most fuel efficient car. It is the most fuel efficient car. Oh no, Alex. Oh no. See, Alex? This is what happens when you don't listen to the Trackalicious dad. Tried to tell you, Honda isn't quite a comfortable car to drive. Oh my goodness, Jade Hutchinson now caught up to the drivers who haven't even pitted yet. It's gonna want to be careful to not lose too much time. Does manage to get by the likes of Quinn Smith relatively easily. What we do have, though, is the Mustang of Tyler Carr now challenging the likes of Wilson Fernandez for that P8 position. Quinn Smith and Landry still haven't pitted. Ooh, big wiggle for Tyler. Not going to be optimal. Austin Doyle, Kurnoda, Anthony Kelly in a three-way battle here for P15. Neither one wanting to give each other an inch. Looks like Anthony Kelly looking on the inside. Kurnoda losing out that spot. All for position. Anthony Kelly looking to make a move on that Mustang. Mustang having an incredible straight line speed, as we had mentioned, through the Europe car corner of 13, now through 14 and RACC corner of 15, and finally through 16, where that Mustang is going to come to absolute life and take off, as we saw earlier. While the Mustang doesn't even have the slipstream, it does still pull away from the likes of that McLaren. While these folks are battling for 15, 16, 17, looks like Jake Wells right on the tail of that Huracan GT3 of Jace Wright, continuing to look to make a move. Just doesn't quite have it. Vasquez, though, making a mistake somewhere. What happens? Looks like Vasquez is up ahead. Wilson Fernandez potentially looking to make a move here. Doesn't quite have it. Vasquez goes wide, and there it is into the hairpin, and Wilson Fernandez manages to make a move. Dink donk. Welcome. Oh my goodness, Dink, you are missing out. We have some incredible battles out in the field here, and the battle for P1 was intense. Unbelievable. Thank you, Alex, for that information. Very helpful. Requesting a fun fact while we look at this incredible battle. Tyler Carr still trying to go at Mike Vasquez for that P8 position. Tyler, having raced here before, does have incredible pace. Again, yet another name that we're not used to seeing. Seeing in the lower ranks, let's call it, or the mid ranks. Let's not say lower. That's doing it. That's injustice there. Alex, it is actually the car we're watching right now. Tyler Carr has the top time in the race here with a 43.3. That huge straight line speed of the Mustang trying to eat up that Ferrari has the outside line, and the Ferrari just not having enough to come back at him. Exactly, Alex. This is an unbelievable grid with the 43.3 top time in 7th place. Unreal. Incredibly competitive grid. Unfortunately, we don't have the likes of Dink Donk in here, nor some of the other Trackalicious usuals that are absolutely phenomenal as well. Well, that battle has settled. Looks like Anthony Kelly has managed to get ahead of Austin Doyle here. The power of that Mustang just not being enough to stay ahead. Anthony Kelly hopefully be maximizing the rest of the twisty turnies before getting back onto the straight. Yeah, Tyler was in 5th or 6th at some point in time, which, I mean, it's still pretty good. However, you know, I'm sure not a position that Tyler would necessarily be proud of. I feel like Tyler's a first place kind of guy. Trying to get to your fun fact here, Dink. Okay, here's a fun fact. Interesting to know that the track is quite demanding of the car's aerodynamic qualities. The wind direction at the track can change drastically during the day, a significant factor given the importance of aerodynamics in modern cars. It is then difficult to find a good setup since cars have massive aerodynamic drag and understeer on one part of the circuit in the morning, but suffer oversteer at the same part of the circuit in the afternoon. Given tire compound can work well when tested, but not so well a couple of months later. These changeable conditions can make for an unexpected performances from some teams during the race. The changeable wind conditions also caused incidents at the circuit, especially considering Fernando Alonso's testing incident in 2015 partly blamed on the severity of the wind. Alex, what your sister and Tyler do in their spare time is not something that I'm going to continue to talk about on stream. But what we do have is Wilson Fernandez here trying to look at a move onto Kenneth Portis. 16 minutes left in the race, and the likes of Landry and Quinn Smith have yet to pit. Any time now. Going in for the long strat. Wilson continuing to pressure the likes of Kenneth Portis. Portis in the Honda. Fernandez in the BMW. An opportunity for Tyler Carr to maybe catch up, as Tyler's only 1.1 seconds behind. This battle is exactly the type of thing he's going to want to see. Both these drivers incredibly quick. Fernandez looking for an opportunity, looking for a mistake from Portis. Just hasn't come into realization just yet. Tyler Carr right behind, threatening. Now Wilson has to look ahead and behind. Tyler right there. And we do see not much of a gain on that Mustang onto the BMW, as the BMW also had a draft behind the Honda. Ooh, getting really close there. Gonna be suffering some understeer for sure behind the Honda. Looks like Tyler does take it wide, but does manage to still stay pretty close. Wilson threatening on the inside, deciding that wasn't the optimal move for the time being. Ducking back in. The 2-horse race now becoming a 3-horse race. Honda to BMW to Mustang. Germany, or I'm sorry, Japan, Germany, and the USA. The battle continues here on track. The titans of the automotive industry, all trying to find out who can gain that P5 position. Obviously, the P1 is definitely something that everybody celebrates. The podium, the next best thing. But you know what? There's something to be said about having a top 5 position, and all 3 of these drivers are trying to get there for sure. Missed a change in position between Jace Wright and Jake Wells. Looks like Jace going a little wide. Jake getting the better run. Pressure. Jace going wide again, having to be late on the throttle. Jake looking on the inside. Managed to stick it. And gets the move done. And that is a position for Jake Wells. Wilson Fernandez, though, still chasing. Again, for those of you who watch some American racing, when you see the likes of, say, Jake Wells and Tyler Carr in positions that are in the 7s and in the teens, you know this grid is going to be an incredible grid, incredibly competitive, as you still have the likes of Michael Landry and Quinn Smith that have yet to pit. And actually looks like they both have finally pitted, potentially. But really, the action is still here on track. Wilson Fernandez still challenging Kenneth Portis, and we've seen some incredible defense from Portis in the past. Fermato, I don't know if you're allowed to be in chat. We don't allow drivers that are not on the grid to be in chat. That should be on the grid. After an incredible performance. Oh my goodness. Jax, you are right. Oh my goodness. I think we may have had a disconnect from Dinarte, who's no longer on the grid. Oh no. What incredible misfortune for Thiago Dinarte after a fantastic performance. That is really unfortunate. The misfortune of one Brazilian, hoping to be balanced by the fortune of another one here, with Wilson Fernandez challenging for what is effectively now a podium position. Portis effectively P3 after Landry and Quinn Smith pit. Less than 10 minutes remaining of this 80-minute championship. Michael Fermato. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. No, I mean, we understand life happens. There are many a thing that sometimes get in the way of our passion here in sim racing, and we're just sad not to have you on the grid. You had an incredible performance last season, and just wanted to see you back on the grid. I think, if you could believe it, Mr. Fermato, this grid is even more competitive than the last one, as we have some insane racing through the entire grid. As we have Matheus Alves here challenging the likes of Jill Silverman for that P10 spot, or P9 spot, I should say. More battles through the field here as these two will take a couple of corners to get to some action, but looks like on the outside, where once Anthony Kelly had made the move onto Austin Doyle. Austin Doyle now getting the position back. A bit of door-to-door action. Doyle back up into the 14th spot in the mint chocolate chip ice cream. Doyle Mosport Mustang sticks it, wins it. For now, the race is not over yet, and it's not over until it's over, until the checkered flag flies and the P1 car manages to drive through. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jade Hutchinson back up into P1 with a huge gap to the likes of Gabriel Felipe, all the way down 15 seconds behind in P2. Oh my goodness, actually, never mind. Landry's strategy puts him all the way up in P2, now down to P3. He's going to have 7 minutes to fight the likes of those of Portis. Landry with an incredible strategy. Something's not adding up. No. There we have it. No, Landry did not pull it off. Sorry. I thought he did. That was, the timing charts were just not reflective of where the actual positions are. But Gabriel Felipe is P3, followed by Kenneth Portis. Sorry, P2 with Kenneth Portis in P3. Yeah, if there's one person who knows how to drive that Bentley, it's definitely Gabriel Felipe. But still, for Mato, it's not one person or the other driving the Bentley. We wanted Gabriel Felipe and you driving the Bentley. Kenneth Portis still under immense amounts of pressure in the closing stages of this race. Going through the grid though, Jade Hutchinson, P1, all the way up top. Gabriel Felipe, 12. Trying to see here. 14 seconds back. Kenneth Portis under immense pressure in P3. With the likes of Wilson Fernandez and Tyler Carr chasing these two down. Tyler Carr in P5. And while these guys continue to race down the grid, Mike Vasquez, P6, Landry, P7, Clifford, P8. Silverin, P9, being chased down by Alves. Quinn Smith, 11, Wells 12, Jace Wright 13, Austin Doyle having gotten ahead of Anthony Kelly. Kelly not letting go though, still challenging for that 14th spot. Carnotis in 16, Williams back up to 17 after this 30-second stop go. Artem 18, Provolone 19th, Rogério Santos 20th, Alex Freeman 21st, Jake Curtis 22nd. Yatanashi 23rd with Hansen and Costa in the pits for 24-25, and unfortunately Dinarte having had the disconnect. Unlucky. These guys still battling for that podium position. What incredible racing. Kenneth Portis trying to break the draft, dissipate any advantages the car behind have. Why don't we hop on board with Tyler Carr and have a look at what is going on between these three drivers, all fighting for that P3 position. The slightest error could result in the podium position, and that is exactly what they are fighting for. Again, Honda leading the BMW, leading the Ford Mustang here on board with Tyler Carr. Tyler looking to gain any advantage. Wilson Fernandez not quite giving it. A bit too much on the curb. Slight wiggle. Doesn't have it. Going through turns 7, kink of 8. Around the high speed 9. Needing a fantastic exit. Looks like Wilson Fernandez missed out a little bit, may have gotten a track cut, but Tyler just isn't close enough to threaten that position just yet. Unfortunately, that mistake for Wilson means some breathing room, which something Kenneth Portis II will be happy about in that Honda up ahead. Oh, huge wiggle for Tyler. Now giving Wilson Fernandez some breathing room. And Portis still managing to keep that P3 position, that coveted podium position. Gained 2 positions from a P5 qualification. And now into P3. Wilson Fernandez up 6 positions, only to be bested by Rogerio Santos in 20th, up 7 positions from his starting qualifying position. Kenneth Portis, the second in the signature Honda, championing the Next Level Racing hood here at the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship. As the likes of Jade Hutchinson goes through and begins his final lap. These guys bumper to bumper practically through the entire race. Immense amounts of pressure for Kenneth Portis. But the knowledge that overtaking is difficult here at Barcelona will be some level of comfort, but will have to be pinpoint precise to ensure that he doesn't give away any advantage over to Wilson Fernandez. Wilson so close to that bumper of the Honda, looking to gain any advantage possible here in the final lap, as you have the likes of Jade Hutchinson and Gabriel Felipe solidly in P1 and P2. Those positions aren't secure quite yet, though. You just never know. It isn't over until you pass the checkered flag. Jade only a couple of corners away from doing that. A few more corners, which might seem an eternity for Kenneth Portis, as Portis still tries to defend that podium position from Wilson Fernandez and Tyler Carr of Vacuum Racing and the new team name, Race Forge Esports. And ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, looks like a position change between Tyler Carr and Wilson Fernandez. As that settles, we see the likes of Jade Hutchinson getting through and winning the first race of the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship here at TRACKILICIOUS. P2 goes to Gabriel Felipe, but let's not miss out on any of the action. Kenneth Portis through corners 14, 15, and on to 16, making sure he doesn't make an error of any sort, and that is P3 and the podium position for Kenneth Portis, and P4 for Tyler Carr, followed by Wilson Fernandez. P6 going to Mike Vasquez, Landry in P7, Clifford coming through in the final corner in P8. P9 under threat, Silverin, followed by Alves. Alves coming in P10. Quinn Smith coming around the final corner in P11. Jake Wells in a bit of a recovery drive in a respectable P12. Jace Wright under threat, 13, 14 for Doyle, 15 for Kelly. Chandler Williams, another person on a recovery drive, having served a stop-go 30 for speeding in the pit lane. Coming through in P16. Professor Kurnotis in the blue shell. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Car. In P17. Matt Artem now rounding the final corner. And the other Audi in P18. 19 for Provolone, 20 for Santos, 21 Freeman, 22 Curtis, 23 Atanashi, 24 Hansen, 25 Mario Costa. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The first race of the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship, and what a race it was. Absolutely phenomenal. And let's get back into the studio and have a quick interview of our podium drivers. We have Kenneth Portis here, and we will try to get, the meantime, Kenneth, if you could bear with us for a second. Gabriel Felipe in the green room. And let's see if we can get Jaid in here as well. Gentlemen, what an incredible performance. Let's start with you, Mr. Felipe. You were in the competition in the first half of the race, really tight, 3-4 cars, and it was an incredible battle, but somewhere through the pits, it just didn't work out for you. Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate everyone in the race. It was a very fun race. On the first stint, I already knew that over the time I would have a little bit more pace because the Bentley, how can I say the word? It deals more efficient with the higher temperatures on the tires, so over the time, I would have a little bit more tire temps and tire wear than the other guys on the Ford and the Audi. But unfortunately, I messed up my pit stop, so I lost like 3 seconds easily. But it was still a very fun race. I had a very good battle with Gennady. It was very unfortunate, and I think because he got disconnected on the second half of the race, he would certainly be on the second position, but it was still very fun. And I think that the first place, which was Hutchinson, if I'm not mistaken, his strategy was much more efficient because he lost 3 seconds on the pits, and we lost like 30 seconds. So the time, the extra time on the pits didn't pay off over the tire wear because he just had to refill 1 liter. So we had better tires, but it was still not enough to reach him. But it was a very good race, and to be honest, I think even if he picked up the newer tires, I will not have the pace that he had when he was very fast. And to refill only 1 liter, he must be running like full tank on the first stint, which was a high risk because the car gets much slower, and he was still very fast which was impressive. But yeah, such a very good praise from him.
Yeah, well, like I told you, this is going to be a very competitive championship, and I look forward to the following races. And I think that it's going to be really fun. I think you guys have some incredible talent on the top of the field, and yeah, we're looking to give Jaid a challenge in the following races. Gabriel, fantastic performance, and really sad to see Gennady for sure drop out of the race, probably a disconnect situation. But unfortunately, just like you have in real life, there are always some technical issues that happen, and this time around it was a bad luck for Thiago. That being said, talking about luck, many a race has Kenneth Portis II been subject to absolute misfortune, but not today. Not today for Kenneth Portis. Not only did you qualify well, but managing to keep behind Wilson Fernandez and Tyler Carr over so many laps. Kenneth, talk to us about that final stint and final part of the race where you had so much defending to do.
Oh man, very, very stressful to have both Fernandez and Carr back there. They had fresher tires. They were coming in hot, very fast, and I was just trying really hard to not make any mistakes, and also, get a really good drive off that last corner onto the main straight. Couldn't afford to have any mistakes or wobbles there for sure. But I am very glad that no bad luck today. Aggressive strategy did pay out a little bit in terms of I was able to capitalize on some other people's issues. So yeah, very happy with the result.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic, Portis. Very happy for an incredible podium finish in your first race of the season. And finally, let's get to the winner. Another dominant performance by Jaid Hutchinson. Congratulations, Jaid. At any point in time, did you feel any pressure from the three behind you? You know, the first part before the pits happened were, they were pretty close. There were a couple of challenges in the first lap specifically.
Yeah, I was kind of worried because I was trying my best to keep them both behind me. That was just like the number one plan, just to keep them behind me as long as possible.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges were really turn one, lap one, the huge send. Not a bad send, but a great move by Thiago, challenging you in the first, second, and third corners. And then I think he had another opportunity with that incredible straight line speed of the Mustang. Is that something that you'll be thinking about through the rest of the season, having chosen the Audi? Not necessarily one of the strongest cars, but I'm sure you might have a different opinion than I do, and a more valid one at that.
Oh yeah, the Mustang is surely going to be tough to race against with its straight line speed advantage, but I just picked the Audi because, I don't know, I just wanted to try something different and see how I could do with this car. And it's turning out so far so good, I guess.
So far, so good indeed. Well, Jay, thank you so much. Congratulations on the win. And I'm sure this season, well, I'm hoping personally from a streaming perspective that you're going to get a bit of more of a challenge in this next level racing GT3 Pro Championship than you did in the last one, because you pretty much walked away with the last one. So we worked very hard to bring a good challenge to you this season and hoping for some great battling. Congratulations to all three of you. Thank you so much for the interviews. And ladies and gentlemen, for all of you watching, thank you so much for the support and sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the race. I hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back next week again to continue this fantastic, incredibly competitive championship here at the Next Level Racing GT3 Pro Championship hosted by TRACKILICIOUS. For now, we're going to hop out to what seems like a relatively new ACC driver. Still having the assist line on, and you got to start somewhere. So let's go show some love to FXG Trophy Hunting. For now, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I'm Eric Ghoukasian here at TRACKILICIOUS, and we'll be back tomorrow for some more racing with the rookies and GT3, GT4 Open Series with some more Next Level Racing prizes. Have a good night.